Here we go. Breaking news tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, it has happened. This came in straight from Amir Safadi. I saw it updated. I walked into the church and I saw this. Donald Trump has now Truth Social, Truth's out. We have completed our very successful, if I can zoom this in for y'all. We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention in this matter. Wow. Unbelievable that this has happened. We had reported earlier, we had talked about earlier, that there were B-2 bombers seen leaving America, heading in that direction. But I don't think a whole lot of people believed that it was actually going to happen. But apparently it has happened. I want to go back to it again if you're just now seeing this. Donald Trump said, and this is a repeat of it, we have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, which was the big one, the underground one. Remember, that's the one that they said the only way that you could get to it is with the bunker busters. And America's the only one that had it, the B-2 bomber. Natanz and Esfahan, all planes are now back. Let us continue. Listen to the wordings that you're hearing here, y'all. And then we're going to talk about in a minute what this is going to mean. Israeli official. The U.S. informed Israel in advance about the attack on Iran, and the matter was coordinated. Several 14-ton GBU-57 bombs were dropped on the Fordow facility. Wow. Absolute shock in the IRGC channels and supporters of the Shiite axis. The IRGC channel wrote, quote, the U.S. has declared war on us. War. The war has officially begun. A dramatic and historic night. The U.S. has officially joined the attack on Iran. I'm going to go back to it, and I'm going to ask the people that are watching us on YouTube, a couple of you to go over to the other live chat, because it created 2 YouTubes, and I don't know why. Let them know to come over here because that one's going to be deleted because I couldn't go live to both of them. Just let them know to come over to this one. Y'all, I'll be honest with you, I'm really floored here. I didn't think this was going to happen this fast. A dramatic and historic night. The U.S. has officially joined the attack on Iran. Iran has told all of its Muslim partners, America has declared war on us. A senior Israeli official. This is a fatal blow to the nuclear program. Large-scale destruction of all nuclear sites intended for the production of nuclear weapons. Destruction, large-scale destruction of all nuclear sites. Donald Trump tweets out, Fordow is gone. Fordow is gone. That's the deep underground nuclear facility that they thought was impenetrable. B-2 bombers carried out the attack. The bombers that flew to Guam were a decoy. Wow. The bombers that flew to Guam that everybody reported on, including me, were a decoy. This whole talk about 2 weeks was a decoy. Deception in war. President Trump will soon address the nation. Wow. This was 10 minutes ago. John Fetterman, Democrat from Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, I'm not even showing y'all this. I'm reading all this stuff. I'm not even showing you. I'm just so All this stuff that I've read, there it is. Sorry. So sorry. Whew. Listen, Fordow is gone. Trump said that. B-2 bombers carried out the attack. The bombers that flew to Guam were a decoy. John Fetterman, Senator for Pennsylvania, Democrat, as I've long maintained, this was the correct move by POTUS. Iran is the world's leading sponsor of terrorism and cannot have nuclear capabilities. I'm grateful for and salute the finest military in the world. Trump, Iran must agree to end the war now. U.S. bases in West Asia put on high alert. Trump will deliver a special statement at 5 a.m. Israeli time. The world is awaiting the documentation of the American strike. Okay, and I'll be back for this. I just want to let you know, I will be back for this. We will watch it live together. Donald Trump is saying, I will be giving an address to the nation at 10 p.m. at the White House, sure that's Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Central, regarding our very successful military operation in Iran. This is an historic moment for the United States of America, Israel, and the world. Iran must now agree to end this war. Thank you. A senior Israeli official, the Americans informed us in advance, just as we informed them before our attack. Let us watch a little bit of this.
This is a Fox News alert. News from the President of the United States that there has been an attack inside Iran. Just moments ago, This is a Fox News alert. News from the President of the United States that there has been an attack inside Iran. Just moments ago, President Donald Trump putting out on Truth Social, we have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. Again, this from President Donald Trump. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Again, that's just seconds ago from President Donald Trump on Truth Social, suggesting that those B-2 bombers that perhaps were on the way may have been behind this. We'll get more details on these 3 sites that the president said has been attacked inside Iran. This comes after days of negotiations to try to get Iran to the negotiating table. The President of the United States saying it would have to be unconditional surrender, saying enrichment would have to stop. We heard from negotiations in Europe that that was not being accepted by the Iranians, that they would not stop enriching uranium. There was a thought that this could go as long as 2 weeks, as the president said he would decide within 2 weeks. However, 2 days is within 2 weeks. And now word from President Donald Trump that these attacks have happened. Again, interesting that 3 sites have been struck by U.S. bombers. And this, again, we'll get more information about the exact targets and what bombs were used. We expect that the GBU-57, the bunker buster, the massive penetrator bomb, may have been one of those used. Fordow is a nuclear facility inside Iran that is roughly a half-mile deep underneath a rock mountain-like facility that has been said to be the site of a lot of the enrichment capability. Esfahan, believed to be a storage facility for enriched uranium, and Natanz, another part of the nuclear facilities. They have several throughout Iran. It has been long described as a very difficult and tedious effort to go after these nuclear sites, but the U.S., for the first time, launching an attack inside Iran. Again, the President of the United States saying all of the planes are out of Iranian airspace. The bombings do continue by the Israelis inside Iran as this back-and-forth volley between Israel and Iran has continued for some 2 weeks. We expect to hear more about this operation, not only from the Pentagon, but perhaps from the White House, although the White House...
All right, so I saw somebody in there saying that we stopped on a satanic channel, that people were laughing and cheering over war. And man, I don't know what in the world you're talking about. Ain't nobody laughing and cheering over war. You come in here trying to troll this, trying to get people to pull people into a fight. We're not here to fight you. Nobody's excited about war. I mean, I think everybody on this channel was praying that this would not happen. We do not want America pulled into another war. But at the same time, we don't know what was going on to make this decision. Everybody's an expert. But there's only one person that's the president. Everybody's an expert. There's only one person that's the prime minister. Everybody's an expert, but there's only just a handful of people that are the generals. Now, this is a very serious matter. Let's regroup for a minute here. America. I mean, let this sink deep within you. America has just entered the Middle Eastern War. Now, we don't know what's going to come from this. It could be that this sort of is like maybe on a smaller scale in Hiroshima, where it's a tragic, horrible, devastating end to a conflict, and the Iranian regime has to finally give up and resign and relinquish power, and the Iranian citizens rise up and take their country back. But there's also the strong, strong possibility that these people who hate America, who have been waiting and waiting and waiting for an opportunity at the same time to justify attacking the great Satan and the little Satan. Oh yeah, I see somebody delete the trolls. Let me just say this. The big picture is a welcoming place for people that disagree. But you come in here, start trying to make up lies about me and about our live chat people, yeah, we will remove you. So I'm going to say to the mods, if somebody comes in here openly, blatantly lying about this and trying to accuse somebody of something, I give you the release to get rid of them. Because look, you can disagree, you can hate Trump, you can wholeheartedly hate Israel if you want to. But you're not going to come in here and lie and accuse us of something that's not true. Nobody's laughing and rejoicing over war tonight. Our hearts are breaking. Some people are gripped with fear tonight. Mothers and fathers and husbands and wives are wondering, what is this going to mean for their military spouse, for their military child, for their military parent? What is this going to be? Is this going to be another Vietnam? I mean, because Iran, I'm telling you, you back a dog up in the corner and they realize, hey, this is my last shot to do anything to take out the big Satan and the little Satan at the same time. Wow, what's it going to mean? Well, what about the Houthis? The Houthis come out today and said, and of course, a lot of them are just all talk, but the Houthis come out today and said, if you attack Iran, if America attacks Iran, then it's all on for everybody that's in the Suez Canal, everybody that's, anywhere in that area, in ships and military and commercial vessels. There's no telling what this will mean. Here's what I want to say. I'm not justifying this. But for Donald Trump, who has been adamant against war, his entire first administration, it was the only one of modern administrations that did not get us in a new war. And he ran on not getting us in a new war. So it's almost like, and I'm not trying to justify this, but it's almost like he thought if this is the only way to avoid war. We don't know what he knew. We don't know what they were actually getting ready to do with their nuclear weapons. But the bottom line is this: he made it very clear. Love him or hate him, he made it very clear. You got 60 days originally. 61st day, he released Israel to do what they did. Then he told them, he never said it'd be 2 weeks. Go back and watch it. He said, it will be within 2 weeks. Well, this is within 2 weeks. And of course, in the art of war, if you want to call it that, distraction is key. We all reported and talked about the B-2 bombers headed to Guam. Well, now it's being reported that they were a decoy, that there were already other B-2 bombers preparing to do this. So who knows? Was the 2 weeks also a side distraction of war? Apparently so. Or maybe something was sped up. As early as today, as he's getting on the helicopter, he's still saying, look, there's still chance for peace. But they have to surrender. They have to surrender their nuclear weapons. So who knows if intelligence was telling them that something was imminent. Remember, now it didn't happen that day. I think it was yesterday, might have been the day before, that Iran was projecting and saying that they were about to do something that would forever be remembered by all generations to come. They basically said, we're about to do something that your children's children will talk about. Many people believed that meant they already had a nuclear weapon and they were about to use that nuclear weapon on Jerusalem. I don't know. But I do know this, that if you came in late tonight in this show, and we are live, this broke just as I was walking in the church. I'd been out doing a few things, and this is what broke. Donald Trump tweeted out probably about less than an hour ago, we have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iranian airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. That's the ones they said the B-2 bombers would have to come in and drop one bunker buster, circle back around and drop another because it was so deep that it would take that. Wow. Says that they dropped, Israeli officials said that there was several 14-ton GBU-57 bombs dropped on the Fordow facility. And then not much longer after that, Trump truthed out, Fordow is gone. Fordow is gone. Yeah, I see that, Billy. They performed the same attack in Top Gun predictive programming. I was thinking about that the other day. You're exactly right. Go back and watch the latest Top Gun. That's really what they did. Wow, they surely did. This is a monumental night. My software's glitching. YouTube tried to stop me from going live. This is going to be the new norm. The new norm is that when news breaks, it's going to be tough. It's forces that are at play, and AI, of course, is going to get out in front of this and be able to interpret what people are trying to put out there that doesn't match their narrative. Trump and Netanyahu spoke a few hours ago before the American attacks. This is why Netanyahu is still holding his security consolation for over 4 hours. Listen to this. Reports in the American media about 30 GBU-57 bombs were dropped on the nuclear facility in Fordow. My goodness. What? That is unbelievable. I want to read that again. About 30 GBU-57 bombs were dropped on the nuclear facility in Fordow. Let us recall that each bomb weighs 14 tons. 30, 14-ton bombs were dropped on one site. What in the world? That is 420 tons of explosives dropped on one facility in Fordow. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Just hang on a second. I'm doing something. I'm going to try, because they like to flag you. I'm going to try to do something here. Just hang on a second. I'll try to get us a live feed on here to watch together. And by the way, we're going to come back at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central to watch the address. I'm going to see if anybody in news organizations. Let's see about this right here.
The middle of the night there. We're going to be waiting for the sun to come up soon in Iran so we can get an idea of just how much damage has been done. What are you hearing this hour in Israel?
Well, as you know, it is 3:40 here local time in Israel. That makes it 4 a.m. or about 4:10 in Tehran. They are 30 minutes ahead of us. They say that this strike took place at about 2:30 in the morning local Tehran time. These nuclear installations are in central Iran. One of the interesting elements here, as we've been tracking the movement of American hardware over the last 24 hours, someone in Missouri posted 19 hours ago that they saw a formation of 9 B-2 bombers leaving from their base. I believe it's Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. That was 19 hours ago. Now, if these were the aircraft that were involved, the amount of time that it takes to fly a mission of this length, and we did see some tankers that were publicly available to track moving along that route and corridor towards Guam, then towards Diego Garcia. It's likely, based on the timing here, if these this mission and these pilots took off originally from Missouri, they have been in the air almost the entire time since yesterday before taking this strike package into full effect, with potentially hardly any time on the ground. These jets can be midair refueled. It's possible here that they took off from their bases in the United States and flew all the way to Iran before delivering this strike package. Now, we're getting some initial images that are coming out, and I will caution that in moments like these, especially with the Iranian regime having very strict control over the internet in Iran right now, there are widespread internet outages across the country, that it is unverified visuals coming out of Iran at this moment. We're working to see if some of the evidence, again, in the dark here with these videos of what appears to be a large fire burning in a somewhat populated area. And we do know that Fordow is not far off from from civilization, essentially. So we will probably get a better idea here coming up in the morning. That said, as I mentioned, the Iranian regime has clamped down on the internet after an event like this. You would imagine they might even restrict the internet even further here.
All right, I've got one more site I'm going to go to. This is a historic night. I think that in the days and weeks, and I hope not in the months and years to come, we're going to remember this night.
Now looking at this, saying this thing could spell the end of the current Iranian regime, just like Hamas has been negotiating for what is essentially the end of Hamas. And that's a very difficult negotiation when you're essentially negotiating the demise of whatever you are. And so I'll be listening to see what the language is and how this is being put forward to the Iranians, because when you put that term out there, unconditional surrender, that's a pretty powerful term. Yeah. And historically speaking, that's a very powerful term. That's the term the U.S. has put forward. I'll be listening to see if that's the language that Bibi Netanyahu also adopts in whatever he's saying as well.
So, is it likely that the Israelis knew this was going to happen?
Oh yeah, I would be stunned if the Israelis didn't know this was happening. Okay, first off, they have to know because they have to deconflict the airspace. We're not going to send in B-2 bombers into airspace controlled by Israel without letting Israel know that they're coming in. I mean, they may be stealth, but we don't want to see any mistakes made. I mean, that'd be the worst situation in the world is if we had a what we call a blue on blue thing.
So let's go back to what we were talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, and by no means am I the only one that said this. So many people have said this. We've been in World War III for a while. The first phase was digital, cyber. Then it moved to drones. So which of course drone attacks many times do not affect military pilots and things like that. So, it wasn't like Iraq. It wasn't like Afghanistan. So people didn't talk about it, but major people were being killed from the drones. Then we started reporting that we were hearing that AI was now running the war in many ways in the Ukrainian war, that AI was now generating battle plans. And now the United States of America has gone into Iranian space. Maybe I'm wrong here. I didn't used to cover news several years ago. I've just been preaching for so many years. And maybe some of you can educate me. But I don't think America has ever gone in to Iranian space. Maybe they went in and targeted like one guy or something like that. I don't know. But I can tell you this, we've never gone in and dropped 400, like one guy gone in and dropped 420 tons. That doesn't count the other locations. They took out 3 nuclear plants or nuclear weapon engineering plants. Fordow being the big one. 420 tons fell on Fordow. Trump tweeted out, Fordow is gone. So what is Iran going to do? I mean, when they look at that and they see, because I don't think anybody in Iran thought Fordow was going to be gone. Nobody. I don't think I think they might have thought that it was going to get hit, but not on that level. So is this? I hate to say it. I don't even want to say the word, but I'm going to say, is this a sort of a Hiroshima moment? Is this a moment where it is so going to devastate Iran and the regime that they're going to have to surrender? Or are they going to just be that dog backed up in the corner, scared, and just unleash everything they got left? And they're not going to do it on targeted military in Israel. They're going to go after America. They're going to go after American bases in other countries. They're going to try to go after embassies, civilians, Israeli civilians, American citizens. Wow. Man, this is a somber night. What is going to come next? Now, I'm sure that the address to the nation that's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central tonight from the president, from the Oval Office, we need to hear from him. I'm glad to see that we're going to hear from him that soon. But honestly, I think you and I both know that it's going to be probably a matter of fact. I would be shocked. I mean, utterly shocked. Of course, anything's possible with Donald Trump. But I would be absolutely shocked to see him speaking off the cuff. He's probably going to have a teleprompter. He's going to probably stay strict discipline teleprompter. He may have throw in a few words to spice it up. It's going to be very congratulatory to the military. It's going to be a rallying call for the country that this was a great thing. I would be surprised if he addresses directly the question that's going to be on everybody's mind. What's next? Are we in a war? Are we in the war? Do you think Donald Trump, President Trump, that this was just going to end the war, or are you admitting that we may now go into the war, that we may literally be in the Middle Eastern war? And then the other question is, what does this do to the Abrahamic Accords? What does this do to what's going on in Gaza and with the Palestinians, Hamas, Hezbollah? What does this do with our relations with Saudi Arabia and all these others? Do they all automatically turn on America, or do they side with America? Some people think that they're going to side with America because most of the Muslim nations thought that Iran was a thorn in their flesh. Will there be pressure from Saudi Arabia, pressure from Qatar, pressure from Jordan and other nations for the people of Iran to rise up? Are we going to see in the next few days the people in Iran in the streets chanting for the Ayatollah to be gone? Whew. Who knows what's going to happen next? Let's jump back in to Newsmax here and hear what they're saying.
Veterans Affairs in the first Trump administration, and also importantly, the former Undersecretary of Defense. Good evening, sir. The significance of not one, but 3 Iranian nuclear sites hit. It sounds like there was a high level of secrecy around this, maybe a head fake from the president a couple of days ago about a 2-week timeline. What are your biggest takeaways so far, sir?
Well, this is the biggest event since the fall of the Soviet Union, because you have effectively removed the Iranian part of the Chinese-Russia axis in terms of its ability to use nuclear weapons or threaten its neighbors with nuclear weapons. The United States has taken a firm stand. I want to say well done to President Trump, and particularly to General Kurilla and General Kane. They have been on top of this since day one. This is as professional an operation as you could expect to see. And again, removing these 3 nodes. This is not what the Israelis are doing. The Israelis, if we had not done this, probably put their nuclear program off for 2 or 3 years. This takes it off the table. And really
Forever?
restructures the balance of power. Well, it took them 30 years to get to this point. So we're going to see what happens next in Iran. They have no more military, at least in a conventional sense. The Israelis have decimated them. As Zach said, the next target for them might be to slip mines into the Persian Gulf, try to sink ships in the Straits of Hormuz. Well, look, you mentioned sleeper cells and attacks. The British just arrested Iranians on the island of Cyprus who were casing the RAF base there at Cyprus. The RAF base at Bryce Norton in Britain was attacked by Iranian sympathizers. The British don't.
So, man, there's so much going on tonight as far as digital technology. I'm seeing some people are saying that Truth Social is down for them. I am able to get Truth Social to work, but let me tell you what just happened on my end. I'm looking at it on my phone here, and I can see our program on YouTube, and I can see the live chat. But the live chat on my software that I usually can look over and see, it's completely stopped. So I thought it got kicked off. but I can't see the live chat. So I had to pull up my phone to see what you guys are saying because, yeah, people are saying they're buffering. Oh, man. Now, this could be tied to the fact that there's so many people trying to get information, but I seriously doubt that. Let's jump back over here to Fox Live now.
That sometime within 2 weeks, a decision would be made. Just from your experience in this business, is it likely that this decision was already made way before that?
Well, there were reports that he had already made the decision on the strike itself. That was being reported widely for days. And as you know, as we had discussed on the air, and one of the things was that it was within 2 weeks. It wasn't 2 weeks. There was a lot of, and I think that was the intent, was for the Iranians to believe, oh, we got a 2-week reprieve here. And I don't think we wanted to disabuse them of that. But the exact language was within 2 weeks. Now, within 2 weeks could be 2 hours, 2 days, a week, whatever. And as we've seen now, that within 2 weeks was within 2 weeks. And
I got to show you all this if I can get this to work. Okay, this is look at this explosion. This is one of the bombs. Wow, for Fordow. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Wow. That's incredible. So let's scroll up here. Iranian TV presenter with map of U.S. bases in the region. Mr. President, you started it. We will finish it. Yep, that's what we just said. Oh, wow. Let's scroll back up here. U.S. bases in the Middle East are on highest level of alert. Will Hezbollah join the war? If they do, it will be their end. This is the commentary of Amir Safadi. The Prime Minister of Israel is expected to thank President Trump soon. As long as the Ayatollah's regime is still in power and this deadly ideology is there, I don't see peace coming soon to our region. Senior Houthi official Hazam al-Assad, quote, Washington must bear the consequences of this attack, end quote. Tomorrow, the Israeli Air Force will begin an intelligence investigation together with the intelligence dictorate of Mossad, and the aim of assessing the damage caused to the 3 facilities in Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. It is now estimated that all 3 facilities have suffered a fatal blow and is doubtful whether they can be restored. As I expected, Trump had a window of 24 hours while the markets are closed to finish the job. By Monday morning, the markets will open with Iran without its nuclear program. Iranian television announced the bombing of Fordow, Esfahan, and Natanz. 420 tons of explosives were dropped in the facility, as we said earlier. President Trump, this is a historic moment for the United States, Israel, and the world. The IRGC, the war has begun. The Iranians now claim we managed to evacuate the nuclear facilities and transfer the uranium. No radiation is expected. Does that seem possible that you had enough time to transport the uranium? We managed to evacuate the nuclear facilities and transfer the uranium. No radiation is expected. Residents evacuate from the city of Qom near Fordow. I guess they don't buy the Iranians' claims. Trump tweeted out an American flag. U.S. New York Times headline, U.S. enters war with Iran. I mean, I knew that's was going to be the headline. It wasn't going to be U.S. bombs Iran. And I think rightfully so. I mean, I think you can't look at this as just a bombing. You have to look at this as we have entered the war. Question is, what does that mean? Was this a decisive blow? Will this be weeks, months? Will this be years? What does this even mean? 3 nuclear sites were evacuated in advance. Iranian TV, 3 nuclear sites, including Fordow, have been evacuated some time ago. And our enriched uranium stockpile was moved away from these locations. There is no risk of radiation leakage. If I was an Iranian citizen, I don't think I'd put too much stock in that. Trump hopes, CNN is reporting that Trump hopes the attacks will lead to a new diplomatic envoy. No further U.S. attacks are expected at this stage. Once again, if you saw this earlier, missed this earlier, this is, I don't know if this is one bomb or a couple of bombs dropping. That wasn't all 420 tons, but can you imagine that being replicated over and over again? Fordow is gone. Wow. So, as I said, my live chat stopped working. I can't even see if you're still there with me. I think you are. Yeah, you are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off of here and get myself together, and we will be back in an hour. We'll be back in 1 hour, exactly 1 hour, probably a few minutes before that. And we will carry President Trump's address to the nation and to the world regarding the bombing of Fordow and 2 other nuclear sites by the United States, not Israel, by the United States. Trump says the bombs did their job. Israel is much safer now. Wow. So I'll be back in 1 hour to cover it. Thank you for joining me for this breaking news. I had to throw this together. Thank you for everybody who came in. If you hadn't already done it, subscribe to this channel. If you're new to us tonight and you found us tonight, hit that subscribe button, especially on YouTube, wherever you're watching this, X or wherever it's at. Rumble. Appreciate you. We'll be back in an hour and we'll watch it together. We ain't woke. We certainly are awake.